What's up, y'all? It's your man, Stephen Bartle, coming back to you with another edition of Bartle's Breakdown. I'm your host, and this is part 3 of the Flyin Illini stories. We got Larry Smith, Marcus Liberty, Ervin Small, and Kendall Gill on the line today. Gentlemen, how's it going?
Good, man.
Good.
Everybody's family healthy and safe and all that through the COVID-19?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Knock on wood, whatever you want to do. I haven't had anybody outside of Coach Stephen Hudson. Was that his name, Marcus?
Yeah.
And I kind of knew him from afar. I didn't know him personally, but I had and Mickey Johnson. Do we have an update on him?
I haven't heard anything.
Because he went.
Yeah, I understand that he's still in the hospital. So.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in Rush. I think Sonny said he was in Rush.
Yeah.
Okay, so Godspeed to you, Mickey Johnson. Speedy recovery,
yes,
man, and hopefully nobody's family gets directly affected by this. But hang in there, ladies and gentlemen. We wanted to come on today. Our other teammates they're kind of tied up right now with some other responsibilities. Hopefully they'll join us at a later time, and we always have the seat warm for them. But I wanted to go in today about specifically our relationship with Coach Henson and what it was like for each one of us. Ervin, you said you have a nice story to share about that. You want to start off?
Yeah, I can start. My relation with Coach Henson was it was one of those, it was kind of shaky, but I think that the problem that Coach Henson had was more so with the players. I think he still was coaching in the 70s, and I think that when we came along, it was a different group of guys, Mm-hmm. And I think that he wasn't ready for the group of guys. He was used to a two-hand chest pass and not a one-hand bounce pass. He was used to guys not being able, as athletic as we were, even though that group he had right before us that we replaced, Ephraim and George and those guys was real athletic. But I think before that, Coach had never had Kendall Gills, Nick Anderson, or Marcus Liberties, or even Larry Smith, or none of us. And so I think that he was not really prepared or ready for the athleticism that he was going to encounter. He knew that he was getting some good athletes, but I don't think that he knew to the extent the athletes that he was getting. I can remember one time we was at Hub Gym, and we were scrimmaging, and Coach came. We was in there, and Larry threw a one-hand bounce pass to Lowe. Lowe caught it and dunked it. And Coach said, "Hey, everybody come to the middle. Everybody to the middle. Everybody to the middle." We all come to the middle. I mean, it was a great play. I mean, it would have made ESPN, back then. And he said, "Hey," he said, "I knew when I walked into Alton High School, Larry, I saw mustard and ketchup and relish all over the walls. I said, I knew then, Larry, you were a hot dog."
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, that's why we're laughing so hard.
He said, "I knew then, Larry, you were a hot dog." He said, "But you know what? All the coaches, we've all gotten together, and I think we're going to ask you to transfer." But Coach had this joking thing about him too, man, But that was just one of the things that I knew then. He was like, that it wasn't, I was like, oh my God, he's not. He said, you could have made that pass with two hands. I'm like, man, he got the ball to the guy, and the guy got a dunk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my last one was we was at Northwestern. KB got a steal. Went down and did a 360.
I remember this.
Went down and did a 360 dunk at the end of the game. And he called everybody. We all came over to practice the next day. He said everybody in the bleachers. He said, "Hey, now guys, how many guys want to see Kenny do that dunk?" How many guys wants to see Kenny do that dunk? And I think it was either I think Marcus or myself. One of us said, "Well, Coach, you said if he can make it 7 out of 8 times, he could do it."
That's right.
Yeah. So, Coach was a real statistic type of guy, but those are two things that stood out. The reason why I say about the athleticism, man. I mean, you got to realize too that when we were freshmen and sophomores, and I was a sophomore, when we came there, man, it was they wasn't expecting some of the, like Kendall just bloomed, man. Like he just worked hard and he bloomed, man. And nobody was used to Kendall dunking on folks with they left. In high school he probably did it a few times, but constantly, he had perfected that thing. And people, the athleticism got better and better with the weight training and all the things that we was doing. So those are just some of the things that I would say about Coach. He was a defensive mastermind, though. But I think he just wasn't ready for the athleticism of the team that he had.
Who wants to go next?
I will. And that's a great point you made, Ervin, about that incident. But if Steve and Kendall remember, they had a coaches coming out freshman year. All the coaches came to Huff. The gym was packed. I grabbed a rebound in the crowd, take 2 dribbles, hit a streaking Ken Norman for just a one-handed bounce pass for like 75 feet, layup. He stops the whole practice. Hey, running back to home. Running back to home. Hey, guys, but seriously, I'm 18 years old. I had never been, no coach had never came to me like this. I was, well, hold up now. I should have left that day. but to be honest with you, we really did have a relationship, man. And it was sad, being a point guard. You guys, Kendall played the point, Steve played the point. You're supposed to be an extension of the coach on the floor. And I could be wrong for saying this, but I thought I was probably maybe light years ahead of Lou on what he thought a point guard should do with things like to that nature.
There's no question, Larry. No question.
And I struggled with it for the first 2 years, man. I'm glad, but you guys were there for me. I swear to God, if it wasn't for you guys, hey, man, I just got up there. I remember beating up people on campus and stuff. I was just doing all kinds of crazy from the lack of playing time and just frustration. But fast forward, after you guys left, remember I went in eligible, I was supposedly junior, 89, 90. So then I come back, me, Randy Clemens, Marcus should have been back with us. Marcus.
Okay.
Jamie Brandon left the Bridge program. Dion, Andy Coffey. We had a stacked squad, man. Kind of like under the radar. They picked us to finish like 9th in the Big Ten, I believe. Well, anyhow, I'll make a long story short. So when I came back for that last year, Lou had changed, man. We didn't even do suicides or run around the court like we used to do when we first got there. We didn't do any of that. We didn't do nothing.
Look at Steve, like for real.
Yeah,
like
man.
what
I said now he gets it. Now he gets it. So, like I said, we never really had a relationship. I respected Coach. I don't think he respected me as much as he should have, but that's okay. But another thing, too, speaking towards my professional career, he didn't do anything my senior year, man, to try to promote me, or, like, as far as the media and stuff. I'm saying, oh, you guys are going. So maybe he thought it was going to be a down year, too. That's the way I took that. I went out there, I played my butt off. I led the team. We were 21-10. Finished tied for 3rd in the Big Ten. I think Indiana won it that year. Calvert. I think then Jimmy Jackson was a sophomore there. I think they finished 2nd.
Yep.
Tied for 3rd with Michigan State. And that's because Michigan State beat us twice. We were up 13 at home with 4 minutes left. Remember they ran that weave they ran? So they run Steve. They were running the weave until Steve, to Andy switched off on Steve. Steve Smith.
Wow.
Yeah, Steve was the table at Steve, so Steve tore us up down there. So we let one get away. But getting back to like my pro aspiration thing, I had to do most of that stuff with me and my friend Luther Simmons. I know you guys remember Luther.
Remember Luther? Yep.
Yeah, he helped me out a lot with that. But Lou and the coaching staff, they didn't help me out at all, man. I know I was getting letters from, some agents, some guy from Chicago, is familiar with, I forget his name. But I got no mail. I didn't get an invite. I didn't even get an invite to Portsmouth. I remember that camp that was in Virginia?
Yeah.
And I made 2nd team All Big Ten, man. I made 2nd team All Big Ten for the coaches, 3rd team for the media. I was like 14, 5, and 5. He just gave me no support. He didn't recommend for even the Chicago camp. I know that's pretty tough one to get into, but I think was Orlando having one back then too, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did.
So that, so I pretty much was on my own as far as that. But well, that's why I'll leave that right there as far as me and Lou's relationship.
Marcus or Kendall?
Well, Coach, he never really had a relationship with anybody, any of us.
Correct.
You know,
That's true.
and I think he did that on purpose because he just didn't want to get close to the players. And but you know, I respected that he had to do a job, and you know, he left that to Coach Coombs, Coach Collins to have personal relationships with us. You know, if he wanted to tell us something, he'd tell us through them. You know, and but Coach Henson, Coach was funny though at times, man.
Yeah, he was.
He was funny as hell, man. Yeah. Like y'all remember we were at Michigan and KB. I forget what KB did, but then KB came in and apologized to us and everything. And said, you know,
he was late. He was late, I think, coming down to the brunch.
No, he had done something else, because Coach was really mad at him. And then this is the only time I ever heard Coach Henson cuss the 4 years I was there. Wow. He said, you know, y'all remember him saying, KB was like, well, you know, Coach, you know, he gave it to me pretty good. And the coach said, hold up, wait a minute. I got in your ass, KB.
Hey, you know what, KG? I heard him curse at Northwestern when they threw that graffiti in his hair at Northwestern.
Oh, he did? What'd he say?
He said, hey guys, they throwing things at us. Let's kick their ass. He had a whole head full of graffiti all in his toothpaste.
Oh man! All right, Liv, go ahead, Liv.
I'm like KG, man. I think Coach, you know, wasn't trying to be our friends or anything like that. I think he looked at it strictly as business. But we as young athletes, I don't think we understood that because we were like, man, we coming to play for you. We think we should have a relationship with the head coach. But I think Coach Henson always had that mindset of this is a business. You guys are here to work. You guys are here to put the work in and just go out and play. But I remember a couple of stories when I had, you know, was playing for Coach Henson, and I remember getting a rebound or something, and I kicked it out to one of the guards, and they kicked it back to me on the wing on the right side. And I'm driving in, and there's a defender right there by the basket. The only move I could do, well, there's two moves I can do. I can run the player over and get an offensive foul, or I can do a spin move and finish with my left hand to the middle. So I did the spin move, and finished with the left hand. He took me out of the game and said, I'm hot dogging. Kind of like what Ervin was saying about Larry. He said, you know, Marcus is out there hot dogging. And I was like, well, what you want me to do, run him over? You know, I'm trying to avoid the play. So he did that. And then another one I have, a funny one, man. I think I was going in either for Lowell or Kendall. I mean, or KB. He said, Marcus, go in and get Liberty. And I'm like, Coach, you want me to go in and then take myself back out? So those are like some of the funny things. But I think Coach Henson, man, tried to do the best he possibly could with us, man. But it was up to Coach Jimmy Collins and Coach Coombs and Coach Nagy to have that relationship with us, and that's what they did.
No, I'm going to echo with a lot of what you guys just said. You know, the thing that I had the benefit of, however, that maybe you guys don't, is that I go to all these different programs when I'm covering college basketball, and I see former players and the reverence they have for their coaches. Like, man, I'm talking to the Minnesota Cats. Dude, you would have swore Clem Haskins was the craziest, toughest, but most loving guy. He would take those guys out to breakfast sometimes, one-on-one, to talk to them and try to figure out how to motivate them, what made them tick. And so in a game situation, when he get on you, you knew that he cared about you and that it was cool. I think that if we would have had that kind of relationship with Lou, we might have won 2 national titles. I'm dead serious. Because you guys remember our junior year, we had Villanova beat. And we would have played Kentucky in the Sweet 16. We'd have run Kentucky out of the gym. And I can't remember who would have been in the Elite Eight, but we matched up very favorably to that. And the difference between
sophomore year, wasn't it?
Sophomore year.
Yeah, it was our sophomore year.
Yeah, sophomore year.
Yeah,
so what I'm saying
played them at Cincinnati. It was in Cincinnati.
That's right. But what I'm saying is, well, guys, do you realize how high a level that we were playing at? That this much makes a difference in a win or a loss. I heard the Michigan guys talk about Bill Frieder and Steve Fisher and the fact that they didn't do everything right, but they went and checked on the guys every now and then. They pull them to the side. They try to get this relationship. Man, I've heard that about Gene Katie. I've even heard that about Bob Knight. And so to me, Lou was great. I mean, the lessons that we learned from Lou, I still use today when I'm dealing with my children. Because, hey, we're all creatures of habit.
Yeah.
Y'all remember he say that all the time?
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, man,
I do remember that.
I remember we were going to Hawaii. You remember we used to have to wear the sweats?
Sweats.
And we looked like freaking kindergartners rolling through. You know, we weren't so tall. People think we were a bunch of kids. We had the USA Today, so you could put a quarter in, and I could get all the papers out.
You were stealing.
And I was stealing. And Lou stopped me on the spot. He said, hey,
I remember that.
people work for this money. Put the money in or put the newspaper back. Liv, you remember that?
I remember, yeah.
And so, you know, as I was pissed off because I felt embarrassed in front of y'all, first of all. Second, you know, to have this dude talk, it's like, man, it's a couple quarters. But as an adult, I understood what Coach Henson was saying. So I guess for me, Lou, it would have been great to have that extra personal relationship. Right. But like I think what Larry and Ervin mentioned, or maybe if it was Kendall, that just wasn't the way Lou was.
Right.
And he did the best that he could. But in terms of a personal relationship, it always seemed to be lacking, in my opinion.
Hey, you know what? I got.
Go ahead.
I got a story. I got a story I never told about Lou.
Uh-oh.
All right. So, the only time that he showed a personal side to him to me, you guys remember we all used to play in the Prairie State games, right?
Right.
Yes, sir.
So it was during the Prairie State games, and y'all know my ex-wife Tama.
Yep.
Right.
So Tama, I don't know where she was, but I was heated. I was like, where in the hell is she at? So I got pissed, right? So I jump in this Corvette, which I wasn't supposed to have at the time. Somebody had loaned me a Corvette for the weekend, so I had the Corvette, but I had a suspended license too. So
oh man,
I'm driving to find Tama. The police stopped me, and they're like, "Yo, Kendall, come on, man. You know you're not supposed to go put the car up, all right?" I'm like, "Okay, man, I'll go put the car up." So I took the car home. Then 4 hours later, I'm like, "Where is she at, yo?" I can't stand it no more. I get back in the car and go before again. That same police officer saw me. Hey, Steve, you remember where you and PJ and Ryan used to live?
Yeah.
Right there by the Orange?
Yeah.
I drove past that street, and I looked to my left like this. I saw that same police officer.
Wow.
Hey, he saw me. I saw him running to get in this car. So I tried to turn the corner to try to get away from him, but he stopped me right in front of her. I'm like, well, what do we do now? He's like, you got to go to jail.
Oh.
So he handcuffed me. He said, but put your hands in front. I won't do you in the back like that's any better. Right? So he took me to jail, man. And then they impounded the car, and I'm in there for about 2-3 hours. So they say, all right, come on, Kendall, somebody bailed you out. I come out, it was Coach Henson.
Uh-oh.
I was like, oh, shit. I was like, he's like, hey, where the hell you get that car? I'm like, Coach, one of my friends just loaned it to me. He was like, listen, don't ever do this again. He's like, we're going to keep this out, we're going to keep this quiet and everything, but don't ever do that again. You got to be on the straight and narrow.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
I
never knew about that
I'm like, I appreciate it, Coach. So he saved me. I mean, I was going into my senior year. So,
wow.
He saved me on that one.
Oh, that's what's up.
Good story. Great story.
Hey, this guy to me was the best dude at Illinois ever. Who am I talking about?
Rod Cardinal.
Bingo. Hit it, Ervin. Tell me about Rod Cardinal.
Okay, I like the Rod because Rod would tell you about how to deal with Coach Henson because he had been there so long. But he'd tell you while he was taping you how to deal. man, you know, you'll be mad at something. Rod will be telling you, be like, man, don't pay him no attention, man. Just
Right.
go out there and do what you're supposed to do. Don't listen to him, man. You know, don't get upset. Don't get mad. But the reason why I liked Rod so much, because Rod was the money man. He used to pass out them per diem.
Yes, he did.
We be in Hawaii. We only supposed to get so much a day. Rod give you your whole per diem for the whole trip, baby. You know, and so that's why I liked Rod. Rod was a good guy, man. He kept us on the straight and narrow sometimes. Rod would tell you how to deal with stuff and how to, you know, because he had seen it all before. Rod had seen everything before. You know what I mean? And he also took care of us, man, as far as injuries and stuff. You get sick, man, you go over there. I remember one time I was sick, had a cold, go over there see Rod. He's like, well, you know, you got to go see Doc. I was like, come on, Rod, just give me some of those little blue pills, man. You know, this was before this was just cold pills, them little cold pills.
Oh, okay.
No, it wasn't no Viagra, man.
I thought you were talking about Viagra.
But Rod would give you some of them cold pills, man, and knock that stuff out. You didn't even have to go see Dr. Gerlin.
That's wrong.
Marcus, what's your Rod Cardinal story?
Yeah, you can't be explaining something in no little blue pill, man.
Well, it's just a little cold pill. It wasn't nothing but a little cold pill.
Go ahead, Marcus.
I remember Rod like he was one of those guys that, man, we can go to, laugh, have fun with, but he also kept us, you know, right, man, with the injuries. We can go to Rod and tell him, and he'll make sure Coach Henson knows what's going on and say, look here, Marcus can't play today, Coach. He twisted his ankle. He cannot practice today. So Coach knows that. But Coach, I think Rod had a great relationship with all of us, man.
He did.
And even to this day, like last year was the last year that I guess he was working for the university. He always checked on us, always sent emails out, you know, to me. I know he probably did the same thing with you guys. Me too. And every year he was like, what you need, Marcus? I got to get these packages out to you. You know, the guys that always give me the emails, and I got to get your package out to you. So I always looked at Rod, and I respected Rod to this day. And I'm still going to keep in touch with him, even though he's not there, because he was special. He definitely left an imprint on me as far as having a good relationship with somebody, man. So that's one thing I liked about Rod, and I'm going to always remember, not just the things that we did at the University of Illinois, but the things that we did after that he still kept in contact with us. So that's one thing I loved about Rod. Well said. Kendall?
Man, Rod saved my life, man. Marcus, you weren't there, but my freshman year, my appendix burst.
Oh, I remember that.
It was during finals.
I remember that.
So you guys, I was so sick I couldn't take finals, and you guys had left. You guys had taken your finals. You had gone home for a couple of days, but I was still in the dorm, man. I'm like sweating like crazy. Rod came, got me, and he pressed on my side, and I almost jumped off of that table, man. He said, you got to go to the hospital right now. Wow. So he took me right to the hospital, man. They operated on me, and if it wasn't for Rod, bro, I might not even be here.
Wow.
That's great. That's great, Kendall. I didn't remember. I remember you got sick. I didn't know it was your appendix, though. Appendix.
Yeah, I had emergency appendectomy.
I remember they telling us about that.
Larry?
I'm just piggybacking on what everybody else said. Rod was always there for you, man. When you're sick, injuries, or you just go to Rod and just want to talk about life, your academics. And I recall one time, I remember I came home between our freshman and sophomore year. I had an accident at my local park, Salute Park. I knocked like 4 of my front teeth out. Like Gargamel. So anyhow, I was stuck. I stayed at Dennis office that fall semester. I had to get 4 root canals. It was horrible, man. Rod got me through that. Man, I was in a lot of pain. Rod helped me get through that because I really wasn't really ready to play. I couldn't do nothing. My mouth was just so sore all the time, so I was a little bit out of shape. Rod got me through that, and I always have appreciated Rod for that.
Mm-hmm. And Rod Cardinal, to me, was the glue that held that program together for 30 years. You know, we on this particular show, we've really broken down why, you know, it wasn't that Lou was a bad guy. He's a good dude, you know, great dude, but that was just his way. And so I thought Rod did a fantastic job of being the glue for that program for over 30 years. One of the things that I remember is that, you know, I like the ladies back at school. So I was, you know, going here and going there. One time I went and came back, and I, you know, 3 days later, I was having some issues, and, you know, I go see Rod, and I'm sitting up here stumbling and trying to talk around, and he says, "Steven, are you burning?"
Oh Lord.
I said, "Yeah, Rod, I'm burning." So he called the doctor at McKinley Health Center. What, in McKinley?
Yeah, McKinley.
So he called the doc, man. The doc hand delivered us some pills, gave me the pills, said, if you can stop drinking for 3 days, you'll get over it really quick. But you can't drink for 3 days, which is a problem for me back then, because he knew. You know, Rod knew us. And then the second thing, and I ain't going to incriminate nobody on our team, but there was one time, it was after practice. One of us was walking out of trying to walk out of the locker room with a VCR. And Rod Cardinal looks, and he says, "Now, do you think you really need to be doing that?" And he walks back out the door as to let us make the decision. Like, we could still walk out with the VCR or put it back, right?
Right.
I was witness to it, and I'm sitting up here like, dude, this cat didn't rat anybody out. You didn't hear about it. He just let you be a man at the point of decision. You're going to make the right decision or you're going to make the wrong decision. And he wasn't going to sit there and hold your hand about it. I will never forget that about Rod Cardinal. I think that's one of the reasons, or the many reasons, why he was so special to me and all of us. You guys, dorm life, okay? I want to get to dorm life because I had a question about this. So me and Larry started in Forbes. Right? Kendall, where did you start?
Down the hall.
Down the hall.
Right down the hall.
That's okay. That's right. You and Nick were down the hall. Ervin, where were you?
I was in Forbes, around the corner.
Around the corner.
Okay, you were around the corner. And then Marcus, when you first got there, what dorm were you in?
Was it the Weston?
Oh, you were in Weston.
Yeah, that's where we moved our sophomore year. We was living in Weston our sophomore year.
Until we got kicked out.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Forbes, I'll never forget this. First week of school, I'm getting to learn y'all. I knew y'all from camp, but now we in this thing. So first week of school, we're walking down the hall. One of us is dribbling the basketball, and some dude jumps out.
Kendall, I know this story.
Some dude jumps out, and I'm the politician, and Ervin's the muscle. Ervin's about to jack this cat up because he was out of pocket. He jumped out the room like, "Why the hell you bouncing this basketball?" And we sitting here looking at each other like, we will murder this dude. But I'm trying to be nice. I'm like, oh man, we just dribbling. Ervin's like, "Man, if you don't get out of my face, I'm a mop the floor with your ass if you don't get out of our face." Wow. And Ervin was trying to be cool, but then he lost his cool. But I can't remember, Ervin, how did that end up? Because we didn't get.
I hit the guy. I hit the guy in the jaw, and I hit the guy in the jaw, and me and Larry, Larry came and got me. Nick came running around. He wasn't with us. Nick came running around. Nick came running around, and me and Larry started walking, man, in the down towards the Orange, and the police. The next day they came to practice and arrested me.
What?
Yeah, they came to practice and arrested me. That's how. And then the university got me Bob Aller. That's how me and Bob Aller became great friends.
Oh, okay. I remember that.
They came to practice and get
Bob Aller was the family attorney, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Yeah. and they swear Bob did something illegal when we was in Seattle. We was all walking, and he was walking with us and seen us, and didn't give us a puck on, man. They swear he bought us some food or something. Didn't do nothing, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? But that's what happened, and I remember that story, man. It was crazy, man, because I went to jail.
Hey,
and let me tell you how we got off, though. Let me tell you how I got off of that case. Because the guy, when he was yelling, I told Bob that he spit on you. He got some spit on you, and that was an assault. So they said either you drop the case against Ervin or we're gonna pick up one that you spit on Steve Bardo. And that's how I got off of that case. The guy said, all right, okay. That's how I got off the case.
So if I was supposed to get payment for that with interest, how much money would that look like right now?
Well, you got your buddy off for free, man. You got me a get out of jail for free card.
There you go. Hey, so Larry, what do you remember about dorm life when we were in the dorm?
Man, Ervin.
Yeah.
Should I bring it up
You can, man.
about the Chinese dude?
No.
No, Larry, you have to, Larry, because I
No,
never
you
heard the
can't,
story.
Larry.
I never heard the story. I
You
never
can't
heard it.
bring it up. We'll do that one off the air. You can't.
No,
bring it up.
Ervin. Here it is.
Go ahead, Larry.
Larry, make it as politically correct as you can. Go.
Okay, yeah. So, Steve, you remember the Chinese dude around the corner?
Yeah.
Bud, man. The
Yes.
Chinese dude, man. So I had some buddies come up from Alton. One tall, one short, without saying no names.
Yep.
So I put them up on the Chinese dude. Little twerp, man. I didn't know what pounds was, but I'm pretty sure he had some pounds up in there.
Yeah.
I sick my boys them on him, man. It was so I told Ervin about it. So I sent them around there to the guy, right? And he hog tied this dude, man. Pig tied his wrist to his ankles. Took his nerve, got back down to the A-time.
Wow.
So now the next day, man, I don't know who let him loose. And I peeped in on him. He had him tied real good.
He was in the closet. It was me and you.
Yeah, so okay. So now we're trying to go eat the next morning, or maybe a couple days later. The guy sees us. He did a double take like this and just took off. I was like, oh my God, we out of there. But unfortunately, he never thought that it was a setup, but which it was. So I thought I'd share that with you guys.
Oh, that was great, Larry.
Thanks, man.
Hey, man.
Crazy.
So Larry, you thought the dorms was the hood.
Yeah.
Hey, man, education comes in all forms, fellas. Kendall, what was your dorm experience like back in Illinois?
You know what, man? I love living in the Forbes.
We love the workout videos in the morning, Kendall.
Huh?
The workout videos on ESPN at 6 in the morning.
Oh.
Kiana, your girl Kiana.
Yeah, right. But you guys remember what were those girls? You know how one side was girls, one side was boys. I mean, you know, the men.
It was the floors. It was the floors. It was floors.
Was it floors?
Yeah, it was one floor girls, one floor. Yeah, those girls that used to be on the third floor.
On the third floor.
Fourth,
Y'all remember we used to go up there and visit them all the time?
Fourth floor, Evanston on the fourth floor.
Yeah, on Evanston. One of them name was Kelly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I forget the other one.
Trish, wasn't one of them named
Trish, yeah, Trish.
Yep.
Maritza
ATN. Yeah.
Go ahead,
Enough
Kendall.
said, Kendall.
Huh?
Enough said.
No, I just like the camaraderie that we had, man. You know,
Yeah.
we go up there and chill with them and be cool. We were cool with everybody on our floor and everything. So, you know, I enjoyed my college dorm life. I mean, we only stayed in dorms for 2 years, but then, you know, we all went and got our own apartments. But it was cool, man. I had a great time, especially when we could go down to the Orange. Y'all remember how they used to mark our stickers saying that we ate, then we used to come back and take some nail polish and erase it so we go back and
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Marcus, what about your experience?
I only did 1 year there, so at the dorms, and I couldn't get my studies done, man. Y'all guys were making too much noise. So I had to I went to coach and said, I got to move. No, but in reality, man, no, but on the real, man, I was damn near married, man. So I ended up moving off campus the next year, and me and my girl at the time, I was damn near married, man. If I had to do it all over again, man, I would have never had that woman move down there with me. You know, if I had to do it all over again, because I missed a lot of time with you guys. I did, because I'm trying to run back home to make sure she good and all that. and it just, it took me away from you guys a little bit. But still in all, we still got down when we could, hang out, video games, drink a couple of
Yeah.
beers, go to a couple of bars, go to a couple of parties. We all hung out, but I missed a little bit more of that dorm situation, man, because I only did 1 year there.
Marcus, was she there all 4 years?
Yeah, pretty
Oh,
much,
really?
man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why I said, man, like I even talk to kids now about that, man, about settling down too soon when you don't really know what's going on. Like you need to enjoy that college life, man. And I don't think I fully enjoyed the college life because of, what I had, basically locked down, So
Yeah.
it was kind of tough for me. But all in all, man, I used to come over there and hang out with Larry all the time. I remember when I was staying there, I had the roommate of Bob. I had Bob Stearns as my
Oh my
roommate.
God.
And Bob, was never there. So it's like I never did really had a roommate, So, but I was thinking I'm going to get me a big screen TV because I heard about what was going on. I said his dad had the money, So I'm like, man, I'm gonna get the big screen TV. I'm going to have the cars and all that. He had a nice scooter at the time.
Yep.
He was never there though. He was never there. Never had the TV. He left the room empty, man. So I was like, Larry, whenever you want to go to the room, man, just go down there because nobody's here. So I remember the 1 year, man. I had some fun, but I wish I could have did more.
I got a story from the dorms that will make you guys smile. All right. Kansas and Oklahoma are playing in the 1988. I believe it was the 87. See, Kendall knows I'm getting ready to talk about.
Yeah.
87 or 88 championship, right? Somebody says, man, ain't no way that Kansas could beat Oklahoma. If Kansas wins, I'll run to the orange butt naked.
Hey, boy,
Manny Manning and the Miracles are getting ready to win a national championship. This cat, everybody's like, oh, man, you ain't got to do it. He's like, no, I'm going to do it. Taking off his clothes and putting on a yellow puffy down coat. All he had was his jacket, this coat, and some Air Jordans. And this brother ran halfway down the way, took his jacket off. He is butt naked, runs to the orange, does a pirouette in front of the orange, and then runs back and puts his coat on. The most legendary act I've ever seen. Larry, you weren't there?
I know what you're talking about, but I was going to say, but who would have thought Kansas would have won? We beat the shit out of them over in Hawaii.
So, we so did, Larry.
That's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
we
But
did.
Larry, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I do. I ain't going to say his name, though.
No, that was big draws.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Big draws. And you know what? I tell that story to this day with great pride because he was my roommate. And I told him, I was like, Ryan, you ain't got to do this. But when that cat.
Well, they know who said it now. They know who did it now.
But no, that was classic, man. That was my that and us throwing water out the windows in Weston on people as they walked underneath. Y'all remember doing that?
Yeah.
We catch people walking up under Weston Hall. As soon as they come, we dump them with water and run. That's what got us kicked out. So, I mean, my time in the dorms was great because I was always getting into some kind of trouble and getting bailed out.
Right. Wow.
Let me ask you guys this. If you were to, each of you, if you were to give a prospective basketball player a bit of advice coming into Illinois about the student life, about what's expected, about how great the fan base is, what would be that bit of advice that you would have wished you had when you were coming into Illinois as a freshman? Marcus, I'm gonna start with you.
That's a tough one, Steve, man. The advice I would give to, especially the Orange Crush fans, because they were that section, that student section, and I know they changed it now for the new arena, but when we were there, they were kind of a little higher.
Yeah.
And we couldn't really, but we could still hear them, but we couldn't really like get to know them like I thought we should have, like what the last generation, well, this last season these guys had with the fans, because they can go and reach them and touch them. We couldn't reach and touch them like they were doing it, this past season. But I would give, somebody that's thinking about coming to the University of Illinois to build that relationship with those fans, man, because if you do that, they will stick with you through thick and thin. And
That's a great point.
We've seen that, man. We see that a lot. But you see a lot of Fairweather fans too that don't stick with they school teams. They disappear. It never happened at the University of Illinois, even when they were losing a lot of during them seasons that they lost some games. They stuck with them through thick and thin.
Larry?
Just short and quick, just to maintain that balance between the academics and the athletic part of it. Those two go hand in hand. And I don't know if it's a lot easier for these guys nowadays because they have more stuff at their disposal, computers and tutors and things like that. So that would be my main sticking point.
Kendall?
Embrace all of it. Get to know everybody you can. Get to take advantage of every situation that you can, because there's relationships that we've all built 30 years ago, or how many years ago we were there, that we can fall back on today.
That's right.
We had the largest alumni association, one of the largest alumni associations in the country. So there's no reason why we can't, if we need something, we can't make a phone call and get it. And as athletes, that's what you have to do. Take advantage of your opportunities, man, when you have them.
Mm-hmm.
Ervin?
I think, just to piggyback off what everybody said, I think being balanced as far as academics, like Larry said, and basketball, I think that sometimes, we had study hall, man. It was more like a job for us, man, because we would go to class. Most of our classes start at 8 o'clock in the morning. Once we get out of class, we're going straight and get tape, and straight from tape, straight to go to go eat, and then back then from there to study hall. So a lot of times we didn't get in till 9 o'clock at night. But again, like Kendall said, some of the relationships, like meeting Rose at Aunt Sonia's, and some of the people, man, it's a lot of memories and a lot of things you want to try to embrace as much of it as you can, because the thing about the university is that you also want to be able to be diverse as far as meeting people, because Steve, you sent me a photo probably about 3 years ago. I don't know if you remember. It was a guy who was a pilot. And I was like, who is that guy? He looks familiar. It was my roommate from Forbes, Kurt Peterson. He was a pilot.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, he was a pilot, and you seen him at the airport.
I did.
You sent me a picture. You was like,
Yep.
Irv, here go your old roommate. Boom.
Yep.
Wow.
So you never know who you run into, and like Kendall said, again, it's nothing that we should be able to call by having the largest alumni association. We shouldn't want anything as far as wanting anything, as far as people who will help. The problem is will they help us? You know what I'm saying? So, and we have a team that will never, ever, I don't care who comes to that university, that will never, ever be forgotten, man, because of the thrills that we gave people and the opportunities that they seen a lot of young guys from all over the state of Illinois was able to win together. And I think that's a thing that the coaching staff, and they need to use us more in avenues to help them recruit, to help them recruit guys, That's one of the things I think as far as the university.
I'm going to say this. Being on the backside of us trying to monetize our brand, I would tell guys coming into school, try to have a relationship with somebody that knows how to grow your social media platform, because pretty soon SB 206 is going to go into effect, where guys can make money off their name and likeness. Imagine this, guys. If we're in Champaign-Urbana during the Flyin Illini season, where we're so popular that Kenny Battle, Nick Anderson, and Kendall Gill got to have damn aliases at hotel rooms on the road. Think about the car deals, the apparel deals, the banks, the restaurants. What Al at Blimpie's? What is it?
Yeah.
Al would have been over the top, wanting to do deals with us while we were playing at the University of Illinois.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if there was a player that was coming in like what's the kid from Chicago, Wolf, who's going to Illinois, Adam Wolf?
Adam
Miller.
Adam Miller. His IG
Nickname
name
is Wolf. Yeah.
Adam Miller, I would love to be able to talk to him and say, young man, listen, develop your social media platform, but make a relationship with those business students down at the University of Illinois. That was a missing piece for us guys, because the business school at Illinois, when we were there, was one of the top 5 to 10 in the country. Had we developed relationships with those business students, allow them to kind of look at the business platform, let us take care of the basketball platform and form a partnership, man, we'd all be millionaires by this time. So that would be the advice that I would give on piggybacking what you guys said, the Alumni Association, having balance, all that. But I would take it a step further and get that business piece in there. You guys want to say anything before we wrap up? Larry?
I don't think it's too late though either. You know, as far as the business side, connecting with those people that was at the university with us at that time. Now that we got a little older, we got a little bit smarter. I think we still can reach out and probably learn something or get some help as far as guiding us into the right direction on the business side of some things, because they still out there. They still out there and they still love us, man. And I'm pretty sure if we had something concrete to go to them with, I'm pretty sure they'll jump on board and help us.
Any closing remarks, Larry Smith?
I'm fine. Great job, guys.
Marcus?
No, man, you about covered it all, Bardo.
KG?
No, you got it, my man.
Ervin?
No, everything is good. I'm happy, man, that we can all reconnect again. This is a great feeling, man, bringing back some of these old stories and talking about some of the things that happened. It brings back a lot of memories, man, and a lot of joy inside of me, man, that knowing, that we can remember and some of these things that happened and how good it was at the University of Illinois when we were there. It brings back a lot of joy to me, man.
Well, I couldn't have said it better. Fellas, thank you so much. That'll do it for this edition of the Flyin Illini Stories, Part 3. Make sure you check back with Bartle's Breakdown, because we're going to have one of these every week. We'll have some additional content, great interviews that are coming. So make sure you check back with us. Do the safety protocols, wash your hands, do the social distancing. If you don't have to leave, you don't have to go to work, please stay at home so we can shelter in now and get past this COVID-19 situation. Until next time, y'all, peace.
Peace.